Miguel, good afternoon, good to see you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Any fresh injury concerns after midweek?
No.
And two of the players that were missing in Martin Odegaard and Leandro Trossard, do you expect to have them available tomorrow?
Let's see. We will have to wait and see, speak to the doctors and whether they are involved or not.
Momentum is a word that's often used by managers, players, particularly at this stage of the season. What did that Kai Havertz penalty do for the mood and the momentum of your group?
Well, every result, every performance shifts its momentum, the emotional state of the team, and the fact that we managed to draw the game at the end, obviously it was a lift, because in any case we deserve for sure to lose that game. So yeah, I'm moving to the next one. You have no time, so the moment you finish that game, a bit of time to watch 1 or 2 games in the Champions League, some good games, and then back to business.
I must ask you, Mikael, about Fabian Hürzeler's comments this morning. He says that he contacted you about the comments he made post-Brighton.
Yeah.
Could you share what was said between you, and are you appreciative that he reached out?
No, that's a personal conversation. Obviously, he's made public now certain comments that he made before, and that says, I think, a lot positive things about him as a person. So I appreciate that, and the rest, you know, I think it's a fantastic coach. The job that he's doing at Brighton is really, really good, and that's fine.
Somebody else who has been full of praise for you this afternoon is David Moyes. You've spoken glowingly about your relationship with him in the past. Have you spoken to him much this season, and can you give us an insight into how he helps you?
No, I've spoken a few times, especially we spent more time after we played each other in December. But yeah, not only him as well, but big part of his staff and the people that are involved at the club. Obviously, I have huge memories and a massive gratitude for, because he changed my career basically after my decision to go back to Spain, and then he brought me to Everton. He really changed my career, me as a player as well, and a lot of incredible things that we share together.
Mikael, if you can you just take us inside the dressing room? I know you can only tell us so much, but Sir Alex Ferguson often spoke about siege mentality. And with all the noise that is around Arsenal at the moment, is that something that you've adopted, and how powerful can that approach be with the unity of your players?
You just have to go in that dressing room and feel the mood, the energy, and the way we talk to each other, and how much we value the position that we have right now, and how much we want to, for sure, be in the same position at the end of the season, and that depends on us. So the focus is on what we have to do, what we have to maintain, and what we have to improve together.
Final couple from me, Mikael. I know you're reluctant maybe to talk about the Q word. You mentioned that the other day about the quadruple.
Okay.
Is it difficult to not think about it though?
Not think about it? Not really. I mean, if you are in our seat from competition to competition, we're going to play in 7 days in 3 different competitions. So that drags you from one to another. The urgency to get prepared, to translate the message that you want, to make the right decisions, and to make sure that we arrive into any game in the best possible way, it's enough. And the rest is a consequence of that process and how well we do it, which is still very far.
Last one from me, Mikael. I'm sure you're aware of the plight of your North London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur, just now. I recall speaking to you before the North London derby at the Emirates, when I was painting the picture of the Emirates under the lights, the North London derby, and you said, it doesn't get any better than this. With that in mind, do you actually hope that they stay up and you still have this North London derby next season? I
continue to say the same. It's one of the most beautiful games that we have, because when there is that passion and that rivalry, when it's in the right way in a sport, I think elevates the game and the feelings and the emotions after winning to a different level. And yeah, it's not for me to say what's going to happen, but I can describe certainly how it's been to play against each other.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Mikael. Good afternoon. A question about David Moyes. I read recently an article about the way David recruited you. I think it was a pre-season. You played for Real Sociedad, and you played against Everton, and a few months later he got you into Everton. When you look at David's longevity in the game, how special is it in the very demanding atmosphere of the Premier League?
It's just incredible. I mean, for me, that's why he's one of the greatest English managers or the manager the Premier League has ever had. Because to maintain that level and that consistency in many different contexts and clubs, it's just so difficult to do, and people has to appreciate it because it's very rare, and I don't know how many times it's going to happen. You need to have, first of all, some very, very strong values, an incredible work ethic, and so much passion for the game, because he's been through great moments, some difficult moments, and the way he's navigated through them is always conducting himself in the same way, and that's a huge credit for him.
You have 8 games to win the Premier League. Who knows, maybe you win it even before. But at this stage of the season, does it even matter the style of play, playing attractive football, or it's all about winning and achieving the target?
He's playing the best football that you possibly can, and the game demands to give you the best possibility to win the game, and that's it. I was watching. I realized what's happening in the Premier League the other day with a really important factor. I was watching the Champions League game between Newcastle and Barcelona. For me, Barcelona are the most exciting team in Europe in many moments, the way they play. And they face one of the Premier League teams, Newcastle, which are exceptional in their intensity on the high press, everything man-to-man, huge amount of duels, really good team in transition. And we saw a completely different game that I've never seen Barcelona play. And that's huge credit to Newcastle, but this is the league that we are playing in. Have you seen the Barcelona 1,000 passes that every week does it in Spain? No. It was a very different kind of game. Can it be beautiful? Yeah. But Newcastle made that game so well done as well, and huge credit to them the way they did it.
Tom?
Hi Mikael. There's only 6 games in the Premier League this season that have been won by 4 or more goals by any team. Last season it was 24 games were won by 4 or more goals. What do you think it says about the Premier League right now and how competitive it is?
The same example, the Newcastle-Barcelona. This is the reality. And if you don't want to see it, it's because probably we have to change the glasses on the perspective that we see the game, because this is the reality of our league right now.
The gap between the top and the bottom teams, it just seems, is getting closer. Do you think that makes it a better spectacle, or in some ways is it more difficult then for you as a manager wanting to compete?
But much better. That's if you want to be the best league in the world by far, you need to have that and entertaining and is unpredictability. It now becomes boring, and how difficult it is to beat any opponent. And those numbers that you just mentioned, I think it's the best example of that.
And Mikael, on a similar theme, I think a few weeks ago you spoke about how much football's evolved in the past 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see that evolution happen in real time, do you think it's more down to, I guess, individual teams or everyone collectively kind of behaving in certain ways on the pitch?
Everybody, and learning from each other. It's like putting information in the best laptop every day and gathering what you do so well. I'm going to try to replicate it, the same. So this is moving so fast. But like in any other sport, I mean, when you go to the best tennis players and the best tournaments, it's like saying, no, the serve, you cannot ace with the serve, it's not allowed. No, it is allowed, and it's a great way to win a championship. And on an NBA said, no, now it's threes, you cannot shoot from threes. No, yeah, everybody's doing it, and everybody's doing better and better because it's more effective. And it will keep evolving. I know here, in every sport, in Formula One, the same thing happens. In marathons, the same thing happens. And if you don't want to see it, I think you're wrong.
This might be a bit of a weird question, but...
But I'm going to ask you anyway.
But I am going to ask it anyway. Would you ever try and, I guess, predict how the sport is going to evolve? And are there any ways you have done where you'd be happy to share?
No. But it's not that weird. That's a good question.
No, but I guess when you're looking at football and how it's developing, do you believe, I guess, there are ways, I guess, you think of the game now that others might not be, and you can kind of take advantage?
I don't know, but with every opponent is the same, and you try to predict what is going to happen tomorrow, and I always do that. I think that's what they would do. I think that's the kind of situation and the amount of situation you're going to have to defend in this specific way. This is how we have to do in attack to replicate these kind of scenarios, which are favorable for us and try to match those things, but it's difficult.
Last international break's obviously coming up soon, and for a lot of countries it's friendly matches.
Yeah.
How much will you sort of speak to the various international managers about how many minutes your players play and sort of concerns over their fitness after?
We have really good communication with most of them, and we have it throughout the season just to update them on how we're doing, because they have communication with the players themselves as well and what they expect, and yeah, we'll wait and see how everybody is and have those conversations and make the right decisions.
Considering, I guess, the stage of the season and how much is on the line for the club, will this maybe be the most nervous you've been during an international break when everyone comes back?
Yeah, it's a period that I don't enjoy a lot, especially when we have 18, 19 players playing, and especially with what happened in our recent history with very important players, but it's part of the calendar and we have to accept that.
James, so yes.
Just going back to what Art was asking you, a lot of teams have seen the success you've had with in-swinging corners into the 6-yard box and have picked up on it. You know, it's a league-wide trend, it's not something that you're doing alone. But do you ever think, you said the game will evolve, what about if something like an in-swing corner kind of breaks the game, or it makes it a game that people don't enjoy watching? Do you feel any responsibility
That's why there are the rules, or the long throws. We don't want to see long throws, very simple, give 4 seconds for the long throws if you need. But the biggest issue is the man-to-man, believe me. And then all the managers have to agree, you cannot defend man-to-man. And tomorrow you're going to have a different league, I guarantee you. Different league.
Can I just ask you about Bukayo as well? Obviously, you sort of took him off again. It's to be Leverkusen. He's not had the output you might think he would have at this stage of the season, but maybe some of the sort of chances he's creating, you know, something like the Eza goal against Spurs where he didn't get an assist. When the sort of underlying metrics are ahead of the output, how as a manager do you manage that? Do you just sort of trust that it'll come round? Do you maybe take him out of the team?
With B, fully trust him and love him. I mean, what he's doing for us, for this club, is just incredible at his age. And he's continued to have that massive impact for us. He can have an individual performance that is not probably a reflection of his level, like every human, every player in the world. But overall, when you look at his strength and the inputs that he has in the team, it's just incredible.
Okay, last couple now. Charles McCall.
Hi, Miguel. We're 9 days out from Wembley now. Sort of injuries permitting, do you already have your starting 11 in mind for the cup final? And is it a sort of balancing act you've got now over the next two, you know, tomorrow and Tuesday night, as you sort of prepare for Wembley as well?
No, because obviously we come from, I don't know, 5 games in very short periods of time again, and you're just going game by game, understanding who can play a certain amount of minutes, who doesn't. And maybe for the next game you have an idea what you can do, but 2-3 games away is quite difficult at the moment.
And just quickly, since Portsmouth on January 11th, I think 11 of your last 17 games in your competition have been away from home. 6 of the remaining 10 you have currently are at home. How much of an advantage do you think that will be? And given what the players have had to go through in these 17 games with so much demands, travelling, all that sort of stuff, you know, how happy are you how they've navigated that?
Yeah, because it was really complicated. I think at some stage we had 4 outs away from home in a row, some very difficult games as well. But that's the calendar, that's the beauty of it as well. Obviously at home we've been very, very strong, and using that in the right way can be, you know, the deciding factor.
Daniel Benjamin.
Hi Miguel, Joe from Benchu Sport TV. You're currently 7 points clear at the top of the table. Obviously, tough game tomorrow against David Moyes, a team someone who you know very, very well, playing for him for 6-7 seasons. How important is it for you to maintain the gap between yourselves and Man City with 8 games to go?
Well, I mean, every game that you win now is a massive step towards the objective. And tomorrow, as you said, we have a very difficult one. So, yeah, we're going to have to earn it. And if we do earn it, we're going to be closer.
Okay, guys, that finishes as live. We'll now go into the 10:30.